This episode is brought to you by our friends at Hover, the easiest way to buy domain names and do more with them. Get 10% off today by visiting hover.com/butterscotch.
Andrew Moore-Crispin here at Showstoppers at CEI 2011. Bumped into Victor, who's going to tell us about a way that we can take that huge jumble of remotes that we have sitting on our coffee table and kind of compile them all into one device, one app that runs on our iPhone, and one little dongle that basically just sits on our coffee table. Victor, man, tell me about this thing. It sounds really cool.
So we've got an app, free app, and a $99 device.
Right.
This uses Bluetooth, so that you don't have to worry about home networking, you don't have to worry about passwords. You pair it with your phone, you pair it with your iPod Touch or your iPad.
Right.
And the app recognizes it, you set up your devices, and start using them. This thing has infrared 360 degrees around it.
Okay.
So you can have your sound system behind you, you can have your TV in front of you. Doesn't matter, place it anywhere in the room and it's going to work.
So not only are we cleaning up the clutter of remotes on our coffee table, we can now put our devices pretty much anywhere around the room because line of sight is now 360 degrees.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Now, how much is this guy?
$99.
See, that's pretty amazing. When I first, so they had this thing that they tried for the first time at Showstoppers today. They kind of do 4-minute product pitches. I heard about this thing. I'm like, it's going to be like, $300 bucks. $99? That sounds pretty reasonable. And where can we get it?
It's available on Amazon.com or from our website, Gear4.com.
Okay, very cool. So now tell us a little bit more about the app. How do we actually take one of our remotes that we have sitting on our coffee table? Do we have to go onto the back of the device and find out the model number and program all this stuff into the app?
Not at all. So what we've done, and I can just show you very quickly here, is I'm going to add a new device, and I pick a manufacturer, like Iowa, for example, and I say what type of device it is, like a receiver, and it's going to try and power on and off the receiver. So it's testing the device, and it allows me to test buttons to see if it works or not. And I can say no if it hasn't worked, it'll try again. Presume I say yes. So it tries to test a little bit more about the power settings, and I'll just tell it that I can't do those settings, and it's added it. If I go back to remote, my receiver is there with the buttons that it thinks I need most.
Very cool.
So it needs volumes and it needs tuning for that receiver. Additional buttons, because we know remotes have 60 buttons on them, are just on screens to the side, so I can keep swiping.
But I noticed that the ones that we are going to need the most often are kind of front and center.
Exactly.
And now, one thing you mentioned upstairs was also, it's almost like macros. So rather than saying, okay, I want to power up my receiver, I want to power up my 5.1 stereo sound, I want to now turn on the Blu-ray system, fire up the big screen TV, we just basically hit a button.
Exactly. So what I've got here is a list of actions, and here I've got Watch Movie. That's my home setting, and Watch Movie 2 is my setting here at the show.
Okay.
And the way that works is I tap it, and it turns on devices, turns the devices off. And here I've turned my DVD player off by accident, but that's okay. I'll just go ahead and get my device back on. And so my DVD player is coming right back up.
And now we can just skip chapters, do all that stuff like we normally would.
Exactly. And what I've done here is this Watch Movie setting handles my power, it handles my volumes for the device that is my sound output, and it's got my transport controls for the player.
Okay, so now we can pick this device up, Gear 4. We can pick this guy up on Amazon.com right now, and we can actually go out and try the app, right? So we can just download the app, and there's a demo mode that we can just try it out, see what it's all about, see if it's for us, if we want to pony up that $100.
Exactly.
All right, and where are we going for more information on your company?
Gear4.com.
Very cool. Looking forward to hearing more about this one. For everything we've talked about here, head up to show notes on butterscotch.com. Victor, thank you.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at Hover, the easiest way to buy domain names and do more with them. Get 10% off today by visiting hover.com/butterscotch.